It's as if you're at a library or a bookstore and they're reading a children's story to you, except all of them know it by memory, and so whoever I point to at any time can be telling whatever part. However, as soon as I raise my hand, they have to stop talking. If they don't, all of you guys are going to kill them. Yes. I will demonstrate. Spencer, please step forward. The way you kill somebody, if he keeps talking when I'm done pointing, for example, start talking.
I'm talking about the story.
So you're all going to say, die, die, die!
Oh.
Die! Fantastic, good job, audience. Give yourselves a hand. So it is a semi-elimination game. So usually it gets down to 2 people, but if everybody stays, that's fine as well. We need a story to be told by them. They know it clearly. What?
Care Bears.
Care Bears? Maybe not about a real character.
Yeah, not real like Care Bears.
Harry Potter is also not real, but it exists.
How to potty train your toddler.
Let's have more of an epic story. I like that. Maybe one of them.
Epic story.
What did I say?
A super hobo.
The Super Hobo! Yes. Oh my goodness! I wonder how he got his powers. We'll find out, you guys. So, we'll go by chapters and we'll have to get a few more suggestions, but you guys, the story is... The Super Hobo!
There once was a man named Don Johnson. He lived in a shanty. And, well, he was still a...
Hobo, because he graduated from Hobo University.
Which is in Hoboken, for those of you who want to know. Now, Don Johnson woke up that day,
and he saw a crime being committed. Hoboken had to stand up for his country
And his mother. And so he went on to go and risk
His life in order to be bitten by a radioactive spider.
That had eaten a radioactive hamburger. That created him to be Hobo
Ken! Which seemed appropriate since he went there.
It's, a suburb of Pocatello.
Look. So, the Super Hobo
raised his arm and he said, "Get away from my mother, you awful
criminals.
of death.
Hoboken, discovering his superpower,
Decided to raise his arms up into the air and
shout with all his might
And he said, ah!
to give me a sandwich. I'm really hungry."
and the criminals gave him money.
Lots and lots of
Money. And
hamburgers because
they were also radioactive, and it made him
super
happy. He realized that his power was
to influence people and have them give him stuff.
And so he went to the United Nations and said,
You should give me food too.
he did.
He's not particularly ambitious.
He got a free gift card for $2.
and he went to the store to buy
some more food. But it was at the store that he realized there were other things.
That he could buy with this $2.50.
He bought a cardboard box.
That he could put his teddy bear in and then filled it with tons
of
Hobo stuff. He didn't need his shopping cart anymore.
But he still kept his bindle because
it was his only friend. And so, after being in the store and finding some 99-cent X-ray goggles, he decided to use them to see through things. And so he headed out into the street. He said,
Look, I can see through stuff.
and he said,
Oh my, I should take over Scotland. But you realize that he could have just
Take done it, as
much as he wanted, seeing as
He had the powers to manipulate people into giving him what he wanted. So he went to Scotland and realized
That Scotland was unattainable because
his best friend was there.
The Bindle was there? Oh my gosh!
I don't know how it got there. But it was there nonetheless. So he decided he was going to skip with it. To get it
Nearly conquering Scotland. We move into chapter 2. What is chapter 2 called? Charlie and the Unicorns. No, it's not. What?
The day the Hobo took over.
It's today, you guys. The day the Hobo took over chapter 2.
It was a Tuesday.
He arrived in Scotland. It was
Very nice.
almost like any other Tuesday. But on this day, it was a particularly
beautiful Tuesday to him because he knew.
that he was going to take over Scotland. I can't let you do this,
Hobo, said the Loch Ness Monster.
I think I'm gonna have to take you, dude.
We're going to keep going with this chapter. I really like it.
I'm the Loch Ness Monster, said the Loch Ness Monster.
and I am your only nemesis, and I am going to fight you. Yes.
And then, all of a sudden, when the hobo thought that there was no chance of Hope herself,
Solving this problem, he realized that there was a plate of super haggis.
Super Haggis was the Loch Ness Monster's only weakness. He couldn't help
but disgustingly vomit every time he smelled the
Evil, evil, evil stuff. He threw a, so the Hoboken grabbed a big,
haggis. Look,
he launched it over his shoulder.
I think he misspoke. That, and then he, audience,
Oh.
died. We love you, Spencer. It's time for a new chapter, everybody. How about a third character in our story? Who should it be? A love interest, perhaps?
Hobo Princess.
Wife! He's married! This changes everything! The hobo's wife.
The hobo's wife showed up in Scotland.
She got off the plane and walked towards.
the Loch Ness Monster.
she said, "You're not gonna take down my hobo. It's my hobo."
Well, and only my
Hobo, and I'm the one that told him to come here
and to talk with you about taking over Scotland. We have too much.
Scottish people here. I need to mix it up. We feel, me and
Hobo, my husband, I call him Hobo.
Because that's his occupation and his lifestyle,
stuff like that. Plus,
I accept him
as he is.
because
He is mine and mine alone. And so then, when
the Loch Ness Monster heard this, he said,
hey, okay then. Well,
that's all right, I'll just.
let you have him. He kind of
smells bad. I don't really want him around here anymore.
Just make him take the haggis home with him because it's
getting kind of smelly and
Awful. So you can have Scotland. I'll go over to China.
my kind is treated better.
But it was all a ruse. The Loch Ness Monster.
attacked when they were
looking. He took it.
Big mouthful and ate.
the haggis. And spit it back at the hobo.
The hobo was not expecting it.
And said, oh, right in the
Face.
My face. But the hobo, having spent many years in the street, was immune to stinky things like haggis. Ha ha ha!
Unfortunately, his wife was was not.
She was covered from head to toe.
And was like, honey, I'm leaving.
I cannot go on like this.
Anymore. You smell too bad and you attract.
Very smelly flies.
Which I hate, and so I'm leaving you.
For the Loch Ness.
Monster.
No, said the hobo.
You can!
Not again.
This is the last time!
I'm that I let you
Leave me!
for the Loch.
Ness monster. These powers of
Hobo-ness have not come.
This far for me to let that happen! So he talked to the Loch Ness monster.
and said, hey, I'm gonna go take a shower. You go back into the lake.
And wife, you can come home with
Me. So then we can eat
Our 6 children together, and
They will love.
my friends.
Because I love him too. We need to check everybody.
The story got boring. This is going to be the final chapter, the most epic of all of them. What's it called? Nope. The Rival Hobo. The Rival Hobo? There's another? The Rival Hobo. The last chapter.
And Hobonicus showed up!
And said,
Hey, this is my turf now.
I'm gonna take the Loch.
Moving on quickly!
Hoboken
suddenly stood up with
His great long sword. And he was like, I'm gonna
Totally calm you down, Hobonicus!
There's people talking in my prick.
and then all of a sudden, when he raised
his sword.
Was very
Okay, guys.
all of a sudden it began to rain.
And they got wet, and it smelled even worse!
We've got to get rid of this guy.
Awful, horrible, disgusting.
Then number 2, this is the final bit, everybody. Epic story ending.
Hoboken knew this was the final hour. He was living. There could be only
One solution to this problem, and it was called
super haggis. He picked
it up and
ate it.
and then said maybe I
Shouldn't have done that.
he thought maybe this time I'll use an actual